Good morning, greetings to one and all. It's time for another walking tour, and this time will be a nature one. It turns out I have a great, I'm assuming it's great because this will be the first time, and the entrance isn't more than like a kilometer or so from where I stand right now on my balcony overlooking the pool, which will be waiting for me upon my return. I've mapped it out. It should be roughly somewhere between 8.5 to 9 kilometers. Should be about somewhere near hour 45 to 2 hours walking time. Of course, it'll be more than that because there's sights to see. There's lookouts and there's big Buddhas to see. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you on the trail. Okay, about a half kilometer in so far, and you can see up ahead the peaks of those structures up there through all the power lines is part of it. So that's like the Pratamnak Hill area proper, I suppose. So, more when we get there. So this is going to be a different kind. I'm not going to keep pointing out a lot of stuff. We'll see how it goes. So this first part, I've turned left off the main road. And from what I can tell from the map, this part goes all the way to the point, the lookout point over the ocean, and that will be the point at which we come back through the nature areas. At least that's what it kind of appears on the map. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Looks like there's a lot of development on what was previously open ground, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. But in general, Thailand is very circumspect about its nature. There's many islands that are like off limits or very limited. Many parks, and I know because you have to pay a fee. Even out in the islands, they maintain a little station out on the island, or even a boat to collect fees. And if you're a foreigner, your fee is more than Thai people pay, which I don't mind. Some people complain about that, and it cracks me up. It's like you're paying $3 more. Fuck off. Oops, I'm supposed to make this a little bit cleaner, I think. I told myself. See, I don't even listen to myself sometimes. Okay. Well, I should have second guessed myself rather than criticize the development in what was supposed to be nature. Turns out I had made a wrong turn. I turned too far to the left. I should have taken the middle road. So I ended up, instead of backtracking on a road that I'm trying to get, that's the nature area, right through the, across that fence through there. But I'll be damned if they do not want people going through anything but, I suppose, approved entrances, because there is just no entrance. So I'm having to backtrack. Looks like up there, so it's not all together, but so far I've added another kilometer at least to the journey, and that's no cost whatsoever, really. This just cut through here and headed off. Follow that girl without stalking. I think she knows the way. So now we're finally on dirt. That was it. And now I'm on the correct route to the point. So, didn't save me a ton of distance, but just a bit. So now I'm on the correct thing. And my overall track is, looking at my mapping, all trails is what I use. And I'm using the free version. It's not expensive to buy. I used to have one membership. It was pretty cheap. I forget what it was. Like 10 bucks for a year. So I should probably pop for it. But you can record your track. You just can't download stuff. And you get ads and stupid messages. So I think since I use it a lot, I'll probably pop for the subscription. And by the way, talking about subscriptions, you can subscribe at freetheanimal.com to my content. Thank you very much. That concludes this advertisement. This is worth looking at. This would be the highest building because it's at the top of the hill, the highest point here on Pratamnak. And you can tell it's bust. And I think the busting predates COVID. I'll have to ask my friend Tony what that's all about. He's sure to know. He has a place up here, condo. He's one of the restaurant owners down in Hawaii where I used to live. But there's a few of these around where, you know, the developers, they do, I guess, what's pretty much the relatively cheap part, which is to build up, which is all the, you know, the steel and concrete, you know, and then, you know, doing all of the finishing, you know, the exterior and the finishing and everything else, and installing all of the services equipment, you know, the ACs and pumps and every sort of thing. And for a building like that, that's tremendous expense, millions and millions and millions of dollars. So they go bust, or they see, we're not going to make it, not going to be able to get continued financing, and wow, you end up with a big hulk like that, I guess, waiting for someone to come along and rescue it. There's one by Bali High Pier that's been there forever, and it has a lot of issues other than developers going bust. I don't even know if that's the real reason, but there is that element. I'm not sure. You know, I'm in no rush here, so might as well just scope out stuff as I go along, since it's my first time. And anyway, this is a high point, so I'll be able to get bearings of where I want to go. So, oh wait, that is the Bali High Pier building that I was just talking about. Yeah, that's the big hulk, and the Katia wants it torn down. So, yeah, there's Katia, there's the pier. Hey, we finally got some view here, huh? It's cool. All right, that's Pattaya Beach, and the infamous or famous Pattaya. And right back there, on this side of it, is Walking Street. So let's continue on. Yeah, this is a more scenic route. Even if I double back, there's not really much scenery on the other side. So let's just do it this way. And hopefully when we get out at the point, we'll be able to give you a perspective of Pattaya there and Jomtien, which is going to be over there on the other side. But we'll have an unobstructed view with any dispensation from the Buddha. And there are Buddhas up here, so, you know, pay your respects, and maybe the good karma visits you. All right, look at those eyesore buildings here. You know, amongst all this beauty, got these three sore thumbs sticking up. I'm actually saying that because I'm not certain, but I think one of those buildings is maybe where my friend Tony owns a place, and he watches my videos. sure it'll let me know. Okay. It's funny because I lived like not 100 meters away from him for 9 months in Rawai, and if that's it, then it's maybe a few hundred meters more than that from where I live now. But same thing. Of course, he just comes here now and then. And, if you ever go to Rawai, hit me up and I'll tell you what his four now restaurants on the beach are, and so you can go. One of them is particularly delightful. Well, actually they're all nice, but one is a cut above Nikita's. Remember that name. Okay, talk to you a bit later. And here's more unobstructed view of Pattaya. Now, right about there where I have my camera pointed, in 1986, the USS Reeves dropped anchor there, and I took leave. So, for 5 or 6 days, I can't remember what it was, once I left on the shore boat, to the beach over there, I went and got myself a hotel, and I remained on the beach for 5 nights, 6 nights. I think I changed around. It was a fancy hotel, and then I found, hey, there's it's far away from the action and so on. I got so fucking drunk. We'd been weeks at sea, and there's no alcohol, so I'd been. I remember stumbling off the Songtang, the bot buses, like jeepneys in the Philippines, and it was on beer too. But you know, when you go weeks and weeks with zero alcohol, it can catch up to you pretty fast. Plus, it was hot and everything. At any rate, so my next time back to the ship and by some cruel thing, so 2 things. I get back to the ship and we're leaving like 6:30 in the morning. So, and I stayed on the beach. I always did that. I never went back like the night before, even if it was an early morning departure. So I got there, had to, without much sleep, probably hungover, and got my shit on. And I look at the watch schedule, and I've got the first watch out of port, including taking the ship out of getting underway, pulling up the anchor and navigating the track out into safe waters, and I had pink eye, my first time ever. Don't know how I caught it. There are theories about how you get that bacteria. I think it's bacteria. I think there's 2 conjunctivitis, but I think there's 2 forms, the bacterial and viral, and it could be viral. I'm not sure. There's some things where the virus is actually far better than the bacterial infection. At any rate, it was pretty bad. My eye was swollen, and I had a few days later, I had to be medevaced by helicopter to the USS Midway for an overnight stay, and then to get back to Reeves, they flew me to Kilauea, which is a underway replenishment ship, primarily munitions, and that's merchant marine. So that was cool because I got a night there and saw how much better they eat. It's like they eat steak every night for dinner, Unbelievable library of videos, I can't remember whether it was, it was still VCR back in those days. Yeah. Anyway, so there's my story, my first trip to this place, and there were none of those buildings there. There was nothing over 3 stories high anywhere. Back then, 1986, that would be 37 years ago. Huh. Wow. And here I live here now. Who could have predicted that? Okay, just walked up these stairs. Still in the same area here. There's the three short thumbs. And I get up here and there is a locked gate and the wiring pulled apart. What do you think I do? So it reminds me of the graphic I tweeted yesterday. It's a pie chart and it says the chances of me not using the word fuck in a sentence today, and it's about 95% full, and the color is like a reddish pinkish chartreuse maybe. Then there's like a 5% sliver that's in yellow. So the red one says no chance that I would not use the word fuck in a sentence. And for the yellow it said same, no chance either. This one's just in yellow. Just in yellow, yeah, so you get it. It's 100% chance that I will use the word fuck in a sentence. Okay, so here we have, you can see up there a little bit of the beach. I think we'll get a clearer view over here, coming to about as far as we can go in this. I think, as I said, this is my first time doing this walk. I really don't care to traverse down. So, good morning. So I think, yeah, this goes down. So this is going to be the high point. So I'm just going to turn around from here, but hopefully I can get some viewage here for you, some view footage. So there's the rocks down there, and out there is I believe islands, or else it's where Rayon sticks out. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the map. But and then here's Pattaya again over here through the trees. We've only walked a few meters from where we were. So I noticed this is good for the, you see the parasailing out there? I'll zoom in so you can see it. Apparently they're doing it from a platform at anchor out there now, whereas before they used to do it from the beach. And it's annoying as fuck because people come in and, you know, they're gonna land. And so, you know, they cordon off these big sections of beach. And so down there, yeah, you can't really see Jomtien. I was hoping you could see it'd be high enough to be able to see both Pattaya Beach on the one side. So it's just, if you look there and round that that rock area there that you can see through there, anyway, you see it, that rock area there. If you round left to that, then you'll be able to see the Pattaya or Jomtien Beach, which is a long beach. It's got to be maybe 30 kilometers long. It goes on long way. Maybe not 30, maybe 20, something like that. I'll have to measure it. Okay, so now that's the farthest point in the walk. Now we backtrack. Okay, so there's the big eyesore that Pattaya wants them to tear down, which makes no fucking sense to me. I don't know, this that stuff like that reminds me of a pissing contest, you know, because there's no reason, unless there's I think I heard, I don't know if I heard somewhere there's some sort of engineering structural issues with it, but you know, that could be just, you know, posturing to get what you want. You know, as we well know now, anything can be falsified If government, any level of government has any hand on it, there's no compunction to falsify and lie and enlist others, even judges, you know, to go the way you want, right? Look at that judge who convicted the Navy guy 4 years, which now exculpatory evidence shows he is being escorted around the place by up to 9 Capitol police officers, right? Judge didn't see that video. He saw only what was curated out of 40,000 hours and presented. Well, if I were a judge, I'd say, I can't render a decision on this until I see the other 40,000 hours, or put some experts on it and give me a summary of what's on it. And they would have found this. Or I want to see this guy, you know, use facial recognition stuff and show me all the footage that has this guy in it, you know, or hell, hat recognition software, because he pretty distinctive costume he was wearing. So so anyway, getting back to this, I don't know, it seems to me like it's find investors who want to finish it up, and if there is any problems, structural engineering, determine what they are and if they can be fixed, and if so, at what cost. Integrate that in, but that's got to be a big moneymaker. I'm not sure whether it's designed to be a hotel or a condo. I'm thinking condo because it has balconies. Hotels now don't have balconies. You can't even open the fucking windows, which is why I hate the high rises. So, see, I can rant about everything. All right. So now we're getting to the point here where it opens up and there's other trails, so you can do your nature stuff. So this kind of more of a hybrid. We're going for a little bit of distance here. I live here. I've got all the time in the world to do my stroll through Central Park, as it were. So forego that for this trip. I'm looking for the kilometerage. All right. Oh, and by the way, you notice I am gonna stop soon. I'm gonna stop even converting, even though I'm American. But you know, you Americans should have fucking at least learned the basics of, I mean, metric is easy to learn, but you just got to get your mind in it so you don't think in terms of, you know, of pounds and you know, ounces and miles and feet and yards anymore. It's very easy. Just get your mind on it. And I'm not saying dump it. I mean, the British still use a lot of, they still use stones, for Christ's sakes. Which, as I recall, I think it's something like 12 pounds. Or is it 18? I don't know. Something like that is a stone, right? Obviously, their standard of measure started out as a stone somewhere that weighed what we now know to be, you know, 12 or 18 pounds or whatever it is. Right. So, interesting. Okay. You know, you get good, beautiful nature, trail type stuff, roadways here in Thailand. Do nothing. You can manicure and groom, but it all looks nice almost no matter what you do, right? The problem is it's too much. So thinning is good, because otherwise it's, try to see if you could get through that. I mean, that's a jungle of a different sort, you know. Holy shit. And then you got to continue, you got to worry about snakes and stuff like that. There's some here that aren't friendly, so. Okay, good thing look, this is right here, you see the roadway. This is kind of the main road in and out of Pratamnak. And so you go through here all the time. And I thought the main foliage was over there on the left side of the road, but it turns out it's here. And so, good thing I looked at the map. So apparently the Buddha and everything is up here. There's some restaurants up there, so on. So we shall see. Guess you can drive too, but there's a sign. No, you can't. So you gotta hoof it up from here. That just, I don't know. I'll check that out at a different time. But it looks to me like the way to go is here and up the stairs, which I prefer because it's less distance forward per meter gained. Check them out. Oh, these are wide. Not much of steps, actually. Oh, it looks like we could have come on this trail. Well, I apparently have some stuff to learn. I didn't have to walk on that roadway, but I don't know where that shoots off. Anyway, I know I'm on the right trail now. Catch you later. Looking for signs of a Buddha. I thought we were on the right track, maybe up here, but what's for sure up here is a tower, so I'm sure that I have a strong cell signal. And I see cars parking, so it must be up there. Then I'll have something to say about that once I get up there. So there's something up here, and I should be able to get a little bit of a refreshment and water. I don't carry food or water when I go, but I'm not against having a water if there's a refreshment along the way. If not, not. You can go hours and hours without water. You know, people that like freak out. Oh, I gotta have water. No, you don't. You go many hours without water. Food, of course, you know that. But still, people, they have to have their food and their water now. I take nothing, right? And I'm walking in 90% humidity, direct sunlight for sometimes 2 to 3 hours at a time. No food or water, right? Do I look like it's hurting me? So here is just a bit of a walk up here. Smell the incense. I'm incensed. Get it? They have different aromas, but they all smell the same to me, which is fine. I don't find them unpleasant, but nor do I see any big deal about them. So just take well, people come up here, they light some candles, donate some money, typically. Or they buy candles to burn, to light and burn, that sort of thing, you know. Or incense. These are the incenses. And some of these are like tombs of famous monks, oftentimes you find, right? What I find interesting is this. That's what I wanted to say about it. Whether it's a big Buddha or whether, I mean, there's Buddhas up here. That's a Buddha, for example. You know, there's many of them, many different styles. There's one. Different styles. There's Buddha. There's a Buddha and then a lesser Buddha, I guess, and then a monk, right there. And so, but what I find interesting is that you know, there is a separation of church and state, so to speak, and that is, you'll find pictures of the king all over, and most Thais have a picture of the king in their home or their business or both. You know, much like, you know, a lot of people will have a picture of their favorite president, you know, in their office, especially if they hold a political office, you know, elected office. There's Pattaya Beach again. So we're at a higher point. I was gonna say, you know, I mentioned, well, we're on the highest point. No, the problem is there's so many trees that then they're so close that it obscures higher ground that you can't tell is higher. So that's why I miscalled that thing earlier. Now, evidenced by the tower, we're at the highest point here. So anyway, what I was going to say, now you will see a picture of the king down there. In fact, there's one, but you won't up here. I've never seen it where there's a picture of the king mixed with the Buddha. But the other thing is that there's a lot of countries, you can go to Mexico, South American countries, where you'll find, you know, Jesus or crosses, you know, on high mountains or peaks. You know, look at the Rio de Janeiro, right? I'm not sure whether that's the Virgin or Jesus that's at the top there of the rock there in Rio de Janeiro, but nonetheless, it's a religious symbol of, you know, reverence and respect and whatnot. And you take those countries, and of course ours, you know, we're separation of church, so you can't do anything respecting a religion, picking out one and putting it in a position of prominence like that, you know, on the top of the hill. We put a president instead. Now, think about that for a bit. Whether you're a believer or not, or no matter what your politics are, like Mount Rushmore, for example. I agree. That's it. Mount Rushmore. You know, I'm not opposed to putting, you know, carving a monument up there, but presidents, give me a break. Political leaders, give me a break. That's just dumb, and it feeds into this reverence of force, you know, political force. So this, and especially in the case of Buddha, there's nothing forceful about the religion. There's no threats in Buddhism. It's encouragement and admonishment. And it's like, if you do bad, you're getting yourself, because you'll slip up, and nature will just come back to haunt you, karma, right? And karma works both ways. Good karma, bad karma, right? And it makes sense. We know that. If you do good, do good. Yeah, you still get kicked in the teeth sometimes, but chances are, if you're consistent, you know, just like that thing I posted in the last video, you know, you do good and you get kicked in the teeth. Do good anyway, right? So if you're consistent about that, and you know, they say karma is going to come around to visit you. Well, there's nothing mystical about it. It's just the way it works. When you do good, it means you're doing good for other people. You're producing values that they want, and ultimately they will pay you for it. And if you do things right, you can be paid handsomely for it, etc., etc., etc. Right? And no luck involved. It's just work. You know, it's work. It's tenacity. It's consistency. It's discipline and thought and control is what it is. So, but back to the point I started out making, is that you go to these countries like this, where at the top of hills and stuff, like in Phuket, the highest, not the highest, but one of the highest in the south, we had the big Buddha. You know, I did a video from up there. I think I did my 3-month no alcohol video from up there. And you have them all over. You know, you have a high point of ground, a high peak, you have a Buddha up there, or a temple. not a president, not a political thing, right? And then you find that these countries are culturally conservative. They're culturally conservative. They may have all the same stuff that we do, and they do, right? But they keep it in the closet. It's not out in the open and flaunted like the West seems intent on doing. It's like, look how depraved and debaucherous we are. You know, women running around saying how many abortions they've had and how proud they are of them, right? Or women who, I wish I'd had an abortion. They never had one. Right? Not typically you don't say it when they're talking about kids they've had. Is that if they don't have kids and saying, you know, I wish I'd have had an abortion. You know, crap like that. And it's just like to get in people's face. It's intention seeking. So anyway, be careful what you wish for. Yeah, you've got your separation of church and state, and look at America. Look at America. I mean, you Republicans, you haven't realized it yet. There is no fucking saving that place. It's gone. Stick a fork in it. It's done. All right. Well, I have stopped here to a watermelon smoothie, because who can resist? The watermelon smoothies are like amazing, right? My favorite overall. You know, I like all of them pretty much, but the watermelon is extra special. The watermelons in Thailand actually have flavor because they're not seedless, right? They didn't breed out the seeds and the flavor along with it. See, I told you I rant about everything. All right. So anyway, I'll give you a quick tour of where I'm sitting. It's quite a. That was the other thing. I ordered and I have my number, and they'll bring it to me. But here's my view. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna drink my smoothie when it gets here. It shouldn't be too long. It's no ice one, so what they do is they have the watermelon like frozen. Right. So no ice, no sugar. It's just watermelon that's whipped up into a shake. It's delicious. There's a view of the other side. The Jomtien side. Still can't really see the beach. It's hazy. But down there somewhere is where I live. I don't know, I guess maybe this is blocked off, so I'm guessing I can explore a little bit. Looks like some sort of offices or something. And just a perch. There's a lookout over there. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, this appears to be some sort of a naval installation. Naval stuff. Maybe, yeah. So that's up my alley, right? Admiral Cromlong, Jumborn, Ket Udos. It takes a while. Some of it you can get some still. Let's see. Royal Thai Navy. When did he? It says 1800s. can pause your video if you want to read it. But, so he spent 6 years in the British Royal Navy. Okay. Cool.
แม่นึกว่าเองจะเข้าที่พักแล้วนั่งคอย
ไม่ตอนแรกก็จะเข้าที่พัก
เขาไม่รู้คน
ไอ้พวกนี้บอกว่าเข้าที่พักตอนบ่ายสอง
Interesting. Never really seen that kind of a shrine to a non like incense burning. I'll have to ask about that. Well, here's where I made my error. I was at that corner, and because my direction finding of my phone was a bit messed, I took this street instead of that street. So now I've got to get across here to retake the path. So that's where we were, right up there, that structure. And now we're in what is officially designated as Pattaya Public City Park, or City Public Park. Not sure which. And we'll make our way down. And then I cross. I'm already over 8 kilometers. It's all grady at this point. Completely. And I'm hungry. The watermelon smoothie is, of course, mostly just a sugar thing. Let's see. Let's take the stairs. Always go up when you can. It's my rule. The practical reason for that is that from high ground you get to see where you're going, and you can pick the route for whatever your objectives might be, whether they be distance or exercise or whatever. Yes, this is cool. So it's a more of a secluded path up higher. So supposedly there's a Buddha around here somewhere. So maybe, you know, the rule about that is just keep going higher. You'll come to it. If there's one, you'll come to it. All right. Our perseverance has resulted in our karmic reward. We have found it. The big Buddha, without reference to a map. Just by the principle of take every set of stairs upwards. The higher you go, the higher your reward and enlightenment. All right. Show you. I guess I'll keep my shirt on now at this point. I was just about to peel it off again after I'd been at that place for the smoothie. Get better evaporative cooling. And it is hot. Believe me. It's got to be at least 35. Maybe closing in on 40. And it is humid and hazy. All right. Okay, Yui, living right down there, about in the middle, just around there somewhere. So look, we live under the Buddha. Isn't that nice? That's got to be good luck, huh? Good karma that close, looking down, huh? That's the, remember the water park we went to with the big tower? So, and there's Jomtien Beach. And then this is the Buddha, which you can walk to. Good exercise. This is the back. Okay, I'll send another video of the front.
What is this monkey, rooster, and dog and all this?
Very close to home. And here's our way down, which is unusable by vehicles. Motorbike is easy to get past here. Anybody can do it. Probably at night they do. See, it's only with, oh, and here's a way in right here anyway. That's hilarious. Right. So see, in Thailand, it's only wrong to violate a roadway law or highway law if somebody sees you do it. Otherwise, it's everybody ignores them. Red lights, you name it. I mean, Thai people are smart enough to, and let me repeat that, Thai people are smart enough. Now, I don't like most drivers, but at least they're smart enough that they don't sit there, typically, all the time, at a red light if there's no cars coming. They proceed on through, which is the smart thing to do, not the sheepish, well, of course, you know, if someone does see you, or there's a traffic cam, you know, they pound you for 300 bucks, 500 bucks, put points on your license. I don't think there's any such thing here in Thailand. You just pay a fine. And they're minimal, you know, 300 baht, 500 baht, you're talking 10 or 15 bucks. I've covered this ground before, but you know, how else am I gonna, you know, occupy my time on these walks if I don't rant about shit, all right? And it comes out of a deep appreciation of where I live. I mean, I'm really, you know, I know I said this all about Rawai, and Rawai was great during COVID. This place sucked during COVID. And that kind of has to do with down in the southern tip of Phuket. The police understood kind of like, that's a bunch of foreigners. They live down there, they're doing their own thing, taking their own risks. For the most part, leave them alone. All right? Whereas here, and it's in the, you know, Pattaya, Bangkok, stuff like that. That's where the cameras are, not just the media, but everybody else, social media. So I've said this before. In Thailand, police will let you get away with shit ton of stuff. You know, you violate all sorts of laws. They can right in their plain view. They don't give a shit unless you embarrass them. So you find a way to do it without embarrassing the cops and making it look like they're not doing their job. So then they're going to come down on you. All right, I can live with that. All right, doing this path here, and then it basically goes to the endmost, and then I cut back up to be way over my intended let's don't get close to that edge, especially if you're riding your motorbike at night. Whew, quite a tumble there, but this is cool, really cool. All right, well, quite an elaborate labyrinth to get back. There's all sorts of these metal walkways and staircases, and I'd have spent a long time if I didn't have my All Trails app to look at, because the cool thing about the Trails map is you know, it's most important to map the trails and walkways and stuff than it is roadways. So it's on every single stair path and everything, and there are many levels and many of these stairs to get you back. And now I should get to this parking lot, and on the other corner will be a path that goes down to the main roadway where I'm back into the regular civilization to start making my way home. What's really cool about this walk is there's so many areas where there was almost no people, just almost none, you know. That one place, the Buddha, and that one place where I got this watermelon smoothie was the most of it. So I think to go this way, hedge my bet, because it may not be in this corner, but the corner down there where the exit down to the road is, the walkway that's showing on All Trails. Great application. I mean, you can search, there's like formalized walking trails all over the place, all over the world, and they're all in that database. So yeah, it's not here, it's gonna be down over there. They have lots of these body weight exercise things all over the place, everywhere. And people use them. Better than nothing, I would say. Now I wonder if there's a, because I'm trying to get down here without looking at my map. I know I could do that if I wanted to, but I would rather figure out the form. I know it's not there, so it's got to be down here. Figure out the formal way down, because someone comes with me, like the girlfriend unit. I should just call her the girl unit. How about the young girl unit? Okay. Gotta be down here. Hoping. Sitting here looking at my map thing, and I'm like, the trail's supposed to be there. I'm looking all over, like, and then I see this yellow thing right here. And I'm like, ah, there it is. There's the path down, and literally it's on that on the mapping app. So that's how good this All Trails is for any kind of hiking or trekking or walking or whatever, anywhere in the world. I mean, I'm talking like way out in the middle of the Alpujarras in southwestern Spain, you know, down in gullies. I mean, there'd be every single little branch or trail marked on it. And when you're signed up for the subscription, which is cheap, like I said, and if you are following a path that's already in the database, then if you go off trail, your phone will beep at you. Now that's kind of like takes kind of some of the fun out of it, doesn't it? Right? But in some cases, it was a real lifesaver, because you can really get yourself screwed if you go very far, because it was so hilly, up and down through multiple ravines. You know, you scale one side of a you know, not just ravines, like veritable canyons sometimes. Like, and you don't want to get to the bottom and find out that we did that a couple times. You get to the bottom and you find out, shit, nowhere to go. Literally, you cannot go anywhere. You have to go all the way back up and find the right trail. So, is it going to kill you? No. But when you're going from village to village, and we're doing 10 to 15 kilometers a day through rugged, very hot. It was in July in southern Spain during a Euro heat wave, and it was brutal. So, and we each had 60-liter backpacks full. So, carrying. So you don't want to fuck up too much on something like that, especially like you're in the middle. Okay.